Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever Central Arkansas Fantasy League award ceremony, where we'll be giving out awards for some of the highest and lowest moments for different teams throughout the season. But before we get into the awards, let's look at some of the biggest moments of the year. First of all, let's look at the biggest heartbreaker. Coming in as the biggest heartbreaker of the entire season came in week 13 this year. Brock's team met Stephen's. Brock was looking at a 99% chance to win, having scored 139 points on the year, highest score of his entire season. But Jerry Jeudy was not ready for Stephen's day to be over just that easily. Breaking his career high receiving record, Jerry Jeudy put up 39 fantasy points despite being projected less than 15. Another honorable mention to look at, we have the closest matchup of the year, and that was between Caleb T and Ashton in week 1 of the season. Final score of that was 93.78 to 92.18, a margin of less than 2 points. Caleb barely eked out the win in a close matchup that actually had a massive impact on the season. If Ashton had pulled up that win, Malik would have never made the playoffs and Ashton instead would have had a spot. And without further ado, let's hop straight into some of the awards. The first award we have here on this list is the Foolish Spender Award. This award is going to go to the player who spent the most fab on a player who did not contribute to their roster. And that award this year will go to Brock, with Isaiah Likely spending $75 on him in week 1 of the NFL season. Moving on to the next award, we have the Eye for Talent Award. The Eye for Talent goes to the player who has had the most contributions from players that they did not draft to their team. And that award this year will go to Benji. Good job, Benji. All right, next of all, we have the highest score on the entire season. This is going to be goes to the team who scored the most fantasy points in a single matchup, and that award goes to Gunner, also known as Built Different. Not only was his 209.38 fantasy points the most this season, but the most in CAFL history, breaking Caleb Lessel's score he put up 2 years ago. Gunner now holds the title for the highest score in Central Arkansas Fantasy League history. And going along with that, we have the lowest score of the season. That will go to Caleb Lessel. Caleb Lessel put up 51.7 points this year. All right, next of all, we have the worst start-sit decisions on the year. And that award is going to go to Brooks. Brooks finished the season as the 12th out of 14 players, despite having the second highest scoring bench on the year. Come on, Brooks. Better start-sit decisions. All right, the next award we have is the waiver pickup of the year. And the waiver pickup of the year is going to go to Eric, picking up Jonnu Smith at tight end, finishing at tight end 4 on the year. Jonnu Smith had great production at the end of the year, ultimately carrying him out of having to do the last place punishment. In the last two awards, before we get into the finale, we have the most points scored and the most points allowed on the year. Most points scored on the year goes to me, putting up 1,746 points on the year. Thank you. I appreciate it. Next of all, we have the most points allowed on the year, and this award, yet again, is going to go to Brock, allowing 17.29 fantasy points this year. Come on, Brock. This is your third year in a row of allowing the most fantasy points. Do better. All right, now what you've all been waiting for, the who won and who lost. So, in the top 3, we have coming in at 3rd place, Gunner, consistently finishing top 3 every single year of the entire Central Arkansas Fantasy League except for 1 year. Gunner's the most consistent team in the league by far. Coming in at the 2nd spot, the biggest loser, some might argue, Benji. This raging team came in 2nd place this year. Now, before we get to the champion, let's look at who got last this season. In last place for the 2nd year in a row, we have Brock. Brock, bro, you keep losing. You can't keep doing this, man. What does that mean? You have to do the punishment. I've heard rumors he might join the military, so we might not actually do it, but we'll see what happens. All right, now let's hop straight into who won. The champion of the fantasy season this year and the greatest comeback in league history, we have Malik and his monstrous team. Malik finished the regular season at 6-8, the same record as Ashton, the former champion, but Malik won the tiebreaker, barely sneaking into that 8th spot. We expanded the playoffs to 8 teams for the first time ever, and this year we saw why that was such an important addition. Malik coming in from the 8th seed, not one, not 2, but 3 upsets in a row to win the fantasy championship. Well-deserving champion, one of the highest scoring teams in the league. Well done, Malik. The trophy is yours. I'll be giving it to you very soon. And that, ladies and gentlemen, sums up the 2024 Central Arkansas Fantasy League season. Excited to see you all next week.